says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you love thing is the one you're loving?
So I'm going to talk about a story that I don't think a lot of folk are on these, at least, in this leaning, those of us who are going to vote in a way that hopefully will empower us for the future. I'm going to talk about Hunter Biden today. He pled not guilty to federal charges today. It was a surprise development because, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, there was an agreement. There was agreement that they were going to settle this and he wasn't going to have anything happen to him. And now what came about was this gun charge, right? And so that threw a monkey wrench in the plans. And so the president's son was expected to plead guilty and then, not have to serve anything, maybe pay a fine and go on about his business. But now they're like, nah, we're actually going to prosecute you. So he had to show up today and plead not guilty. The charges against him, 2 tax evasion charges under a deal with the government. But now there's a gun charge added. And the judge, I'll tell you who that is, Mary Ellen Norica, appointed by Donald Trump. She pressed about the terms of the deal that was struck by the U.S. Attorney David Weiss of Delaware. And another appointee, this U.S. attorney that made the deal was an appointee of Donald Trump and was kept on by President Biden to oversee the case because he didn't want to look like I'm getting rid of Trump appointees to, make my son's life easier. But Mary Ellen Norica was like, nope, we're going back to the table and homie's gonna have to stand trial. Let me just be honest, I'm not mad at this. I feel like Hunter Biden should suffer the same prosecution jurisprudence that any of us would have to suffer or go through if we don't pay our taxes and if we have illegal guns. If you and I have to go stand before the court and testify and have a jury or a judge make a decision, so should he. And the fact that he's President Biden's son has nothing to do with anything as far as I'm concerned. And if anything, I'm just going to say this because it's biblical. Those who are in power should be held doubly accountable. Those who are in leadership should be held doubly accountable for the things that they do. Henceforth, Hunter Biden shouldn't get a free pass. It seems like, he's been going through some things his whole life. Not my business. Whatever addictions or whatever demons, whatever he's going through, he's going to have to do like the rest of us, go get some rehab, some help, or go to jail. Because that's usually what happens to us. We go to jail. Matter of fact, I was watching, I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, and they were saying the biggest mental health apparatus in the country is in prison because that's where the most, I think it was actually an episode of Swagger. Yes, it was Swagger, the one I was just telling you about with John Carlos. Yeah, in prison is where there's the most mental health issues. We incarcerate people who go through mental health crises. I'm not saying it's right. As a matter of fact, I think it's absolutely wrong. However, if this is the way in which we handle this for me and you, it should be handled for Hunter Biden the same exact way, period, full stop. And that's how I feel about it. If you disagree, I would love to hear why you think Hunter Biden should not be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But, I think actually if I'm being honest, President Biden, this actually would help you if he goes to jail, because it would show the country that no one's above the law, right? Matter of fact, I think you should, probably step on back. Don't put your finger or, your thumb on the scale with this and let your son go through what your son probably should have gone through maybe 10 years ago. Because he seems to have been having some issues for a while. And I feel like in many ways he's been coddled. And I'm tired of personally seeing pictures of him in his underwear. I'm so sick of the leaked pictures. I'm tired of seeing him under the pool. I'm tired of seeing him having sex with people, all the different things that keep popping up, him smoking weed. I don't want to see no more Hunter Biden. Take his ass to jail if he's guilty. Let him go. That's how I feel about it.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one who loves things